a recent radio interview, Russian presidential spokesperson Dmitry Peskov has stated that U.S. President Donald Trump is acting like a businessman, seeking to force the world to buy American oil and liquefied natural gas at higher prices. Peskov has further added that Trump has never hidden his intention to protect U.S. economic interests, adding that the president is pushing this agenda without complex diplomacy. The Kremlin spokesperson has also noted that many European countries have started purchasing U.S. LNG at higher prices, placing additional strain on their budgets and taxpayers. Additionally, Peskov has reacted to Trump's remarks regarding the Russia-Ukraine war that he made during a bilateral meeting with Ukrainian President Zelensky on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly. He has insisted that Moscow will continue its special military operations with no alternative, as the operation is intended to safeguard Russia's national interests, both for the present and for future generations. Now we go back to our guest discussion with Mark Sutherland. He's a geopolitical commentator, joins us live from London. Thank you very much, Mark, for staying with us. Now, what's your reaction to this Russia's Dmitry Peskov characterization of President Trump's approach to U.S. energy exports, and also his approach as a businessman or business, like he conducts things like it's politics, but business without diplomacy. What's your take?
In my humble opinion, we should not be surprised by the Russian reaction to this from their communications, etc., because they are extremely good at propaganda. They will push out things like this or either say we deny this. I do believe that the Russian economy is in trouble. I think, as you alluded to in your report before we sat down to have a conversation, where Russia was looking at taxing how it can then tax its citizenry in a very different way. They are suffering when they are redressing this whole thing of liquid gas buying, and Trump saying, "Well, buy it off us. It's being shipped." Also remember in that UN speech yesterday that Donald Trump also addressed countries, particularly the UK, in saying that you've also got a way of actually having access to energy, cheap energy, by drilling in the North Sea for oil, gas, etc., and using that revenue, which is something under the ideology of left-wing stupidity that the UK government refuses to do. Russia is in a position. The Russian position is that right now there will be comments that they feel that is appropriate to then make. You alluded to the fact that there's been a side meeting. There would be discussions maybe with the Russians and with the Ukraine. Everyone in Europe wants to see these sides come together to the table. We have to begin to ask ourselves in certain quarters whether actually some people want that, or whether they want this war to either escalate and to continue. And the weapon that we do have, and Trump said this in the UN speech, he said, well, it looks as though that
yes.
Germany, other countries are buying Russian energy, so they're like paying for the war that they're trying to stop.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Mark, for joining us as always. And